Libra, how are you this evening or this morning, whatever way when you want to look at it? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekend bonus reading. This is already take 2 because we're having issues with the internet apparently, but let's hope for good things here. This one's going to be for July 11th, 12th, and 13th. That should be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're going to go with the Celtic cross, I guess, again, this week. People seem to like that way better, so we'll give that a shot. At the bottom, I will pull 3 cards. I will pull 2 cards each for the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we have some insight as far as what could be coming towards you on the weekend, okay? This one's for my Libra. Alrighty, here we go. What you got going on? What is the situation? Okay, the situation is saying it's the 8 of Wands. So, I feel as though things are moving fast. It to me intuitively feels as though things have been quite stuck for an extended amount of time, and it's like the levee broke, right? So it's like all of a sudden things are moving very quickly out of the blue. And that's both in a positive and a negative sense, it feels like. So the feeling overall is very rushed. You know what I'm saying? Like things are just, even if it's stuff you wanted, it's taken so long to get to this point, and all of a sudden it's moving really fast, so it's making you uncomfortable, is what I feel like the issue is, or the situation. Okay, let's see. So what is the obstacle? The 10 of Swords. The obstacle has to do with you trying to find your footing after a betrayal. So I feel as though you've been through a betrayal. Possibly that is what caused everything to grow very stagnant, right? Sometimes after a betrayal, it feels like you're almost trying to, wade through water or something. Like, you can't get movement. You can't get things, you can't get traction, I guess. And all of a sudden, maybe you've gotten to the, gotten out of the water, gotten to the beach. Now you can get moving or something. This is all about you trying to trying to get back on your feet after some sort of a betrayal is what this feels like. Okay, so what is it you need to focus on? So we get the 3 of Wands. Okay, 3 of Wands would mean what you need to focus on is the future. Mind you, you still have to be present. Okay, so it's not like you could just focus on the future. You still have to be present today, what's going on here. But I think this is intended to help you to, by looking towards the future, you can see that there's going to be a life after whatever this was. Whatever this betrayal was, because it feels very severe. I am not totally sure that it was actually a romantic situation. For a lot of you, this feels more like this was a lifelong friendship or something along those lines. It was somebody that was very near and dear to you, somebody that you felt like was family almost. Maybe it was family for some of you. At any rate, you trying to get your footing and push forward has proven to be quite difficult. So that's why they're saying what you need to focus on is the fact that your ships are coming in and you need to focus on your future, going towards your future. Okay? So what is it then that we need to leave behind? I get the 8 of Swords. So you have 2 8s out here for one thing. 2 8s to me, whenever I have 2 of them, it just reminds me of the infinity sign. And what that means is this was some sort of a karmic cycle. Okay? Whatever was going on here, I don't know exactly what, like I said, I'm not so sure that it was romantic. Maybe it was for some of you. If it was romantic, this was somebody who was more of a friend than a lover in many ways. Okay, this was somebody that you had that kind of dynamic with. But the 2 8s mean that whatever was the dynamic between the 2 of you, it had grown quite karmic. Okay, with the 8 of Swords, this is speaking. It's what you need to leave behind, and you need to leave behind the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, or the what ifs. That's where I said you had to, you need to look towards your future. You still have to be present, but to concentrate on the past or to question the past or whatever, it's not getting you anywhere. Okay, what's done is done at this point. Okay, you can learn from it, and I believe that you have, and you will continue to do that, but you cannot just focus on it. Okay, there's not going to be answers to all these questions that you have. There's just not. Okay, and you're wasting valuable time trying to figure out something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a life waiting for you right now that you need to go out and live. It's unfortunate that whatever happened here happened. It is. I think you've learned a lot, and there's just nothing you can do about what's already happened. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is work on the future. Whether that's with this person still in your life or not, that's not clear right here. What's clear is that you have to get past this in order to live the rest of your life is what's going on. Okay, so what is your strength here? The 5 of Cups. I think this has to do with the fact that you are strong enough to acknowledge the fact that you've been hurt. So I'm not saying there's no ego here, because there is ego, but there's not ego to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't admit their feelings. They can't admit that they've been hurt, so they can't heal what's broken. You don't have that issue, okay? You understand what's happened here. You understand it was unjust. You understand that, it shouldn't have happened. You get it, So your strength in this whole situation is the fact that you are very realistic in the way that you're dealing with this. Okay, so you don't have your head in the clouds. You're not trying to sweep it all under the rug. You're trying to deal with it and grow, and that's what you need to do. So that is your strength. What do we have in the near future? The Queen of Swords. I mean, to say that you're going to come out of this unchanged would be, that's not realistic, right? We all know that. You are coming out of this smarter. Okay, there's upsides to everything. I mean, more intelligent, smarter. But you did lose a sense of innocence here. You definitely are trying to function from a place of intellect, and you're trying to keep emotions as far out of your current existence as possible. I think you now associate caring deeply for somebody with pain, and that's unfortunate, and that's something you'll have to work through in the future. But right this second, if that helps you to get through the day, then so be it. You are coming out of this with your sword drawn. You're very defensive, as you would expect to be, right? But the big kicker on this, or the takeaway, is you are coming out of it, okay? Okay, what's the advice? The Knight of Cups. For a lot of you, I don't feel like you're cutting this person out of your life. This person did hurt you. That is true. There was absolutely some sort of betrayal here, and you are deeply hurt by whatever's happened, and you are up in your head, and that's what we're trying to get you to leave behind. But I don't think that you're ready to give up on the person. I think that you are being very, more than fair, really, in the fact that you are trying to keep this person in your life. Okay, now I've talked too much. Let's keep going. Okay, so Knight of Cups is you trying to fix the situation. That's the advice. What do I have for the atmosphere? 7 of Wands. You are definitely defensive, okay? Your biggest fear here, Page of Pentacles. You're fearing your ability to rebuild some sort of foundation here. Okay, and what's the outcome? 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords is telling me that if this was a tennis match, the ball's in your court and you're up to serve. You know what I'm saying? This is, you get to make the call here. If you want to keep this person in your life, then that's what you get to do. If you don't, then you can cut them out. It's very much so you were the person who, whatever, this betrayal was done to you, not by you. So, I mean, it gives you that kind of leverage as far as you get to do what you want to. I got to do days of the week or we're not going to get them done. So this is something you have to decide. And I do believe for most of you that you're not cutting this person out of your life. I think that you have too much history and too much emotion here in a way that it's, you just don't see where it's something you want to do. Okay, let's see. What do I have for Friday? You've got the Lovers and the Emperor. So there's a lot of confusion around a situation that's very heavily laden with emotion, right? And with the Emperor, I think that you have taken your power back out of that situation. I just don't think that you are exiting it right now. Saturday, I've got the 4 of Wands and the King of Wands. And that is because this is a higher level soulmate to you. And this is just somebody that you feel like the relationship is worth trying to fix. Okay? And then Sunday, I have the Page of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles. There's an issue here with the fact that this other person, I don't believe this is you, but we're speaking of them. Number one, because of whatever's happened here, they don't feel like they any longer fit into your life or fit into your circle of friends or whatever it is. They feel as though they're an outsider. So they've been ostracized out of this situation because of what they've done to you, okay? So that's something they're going to have to get past. This person is coming through as being quite self-centered, somewhat in a fantasy land, a little delulu, okay, about how everything's working out. There you have it. I said you're very grounded here, but they're not so grounded right now with this Page of Cups. I feel like kind of a fantasy delusional type situation as far as they're not really understanding the gravity of what they've done, or either that or they're not seeing how it can be fixed, even though anything can be fixed if you try hard enough, right? All right, that's what I got for you, Libra. 3 more just to go out. We got the, Page of Wands, that's new inspiration. Temperance, it's going to take a lot of patience. And Magician is talking about you needing to manifest the life you want. It's not a bad reading. What the bad part has already happened. Okay, now it's just figuring out how to tread water and get out of this, right? Get out of the emotional part of this. But the worst of this is already done. Okay, all right, that's what I got for this weekend. no matter what they say, go out and have a great time. Okay.